Hello there, and welcome to another week of the weekly psychic review. So I hope you've had a good week and you've had fun, enjoyed yourself. So we're doing this from the week of the 11th of May through to the 17th, so Monday to Sunday. So how I work is I call in my guides and all those in spirit who love me, my spirit guides, ask them to give everyone out there what they need for the upcoming week, give them any healing that they require and anything else that pops through. Really, I'm just sort of open to whatever flows through for you out there. So just to let everyone know, this is a general reading for the week. So just give me a sec, I'll just seal off, tune in, call everyone in, and we'll see what's coming up. Okay. So, there's so much scramble in people's minds. There's so much stuff going on all the time. And, there's so much stimulation that comes in, from your phone, from TV, computer, from other people around you, and you're just constantly getting this stuff in you. So how often do you create a bit of a quiet time for yourself? How often do you create a bit of time in which you can, just sit there, chill, have some time out, and, just really get in touch with yourself in a deeper way? And, some people do this through meditation or yoga, drawing, music, gardening, all different kinds of ways. But it's that thing they're saying, it's really important, to give yourself some time out. And, that's partly what's been forced on everyone with the lockdown that we've had with coronavirus and all that sort of thing. But it's that thing about, even within this, give yourself some time out, give yourself some time away from any of the pressures that you might be feeling, or any of the things that you might, need to do. Really important, if you can do this once a week, that's awesome, really good. Doesn't have to be for an extended amount of time. You can just aim for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that. I know a lot of people out there, I can see them running around with kids, busy lives, jobs, different things like that. So you just do the best you can. If you can fit this in, 5, 10, 15 minutes, a couple more times during the week, hey, you're doing really well. And big thing is out there, congratulate yourself, give yourself a pat on the back for what you've been able to do, for how you've done it, for, putting in the effort and to creating that action. Now, one thing that's popping up too is you're talking about responsibility. So this is your responsibility to create this. This is your responsibility to be able to make this happen in your life. And one thing that I got shown recently through a channel, really interesting, is they broke down the word responsibility. And responsibility, they broke it down to response and ability. So it's your ability to respond. So instead of, thinking, when you think about responsibility, and I've been exactly the same with this, thinking it's this big heavy thing. It's not actually a big heavy thing. It's your ability to respond to something. So, in regards to having some time out and sort of taking some, giving yourself some time and getting in touch with yourself, it's really about you finding out how you tick, what you need, what you want, what's going to be good for you, what's doing it for you, what's going to make you happy at that particular time or that week. And the other thing too, which popped up this morning, is about, giving yourself something possibly to think about during the day. Today I'm going to, feel as much joy as I can during the day. Today I'm going to feel as much gratitude as I can during the day. Today I'm going to be on the lookout for beautiful things around me, beautiful things that happen to me. The next day, hey, I'm going to look out for, how I can honour myself, the world and other people. It could be of service, different things like that. So, why not, choose something that you can do for yourself, or possibly even choose for that week. It's good fun mixing it up. they're telling me to get on with the weekly reading. Okay, so give me a sec. So Monday, what's on Monday? So Monday, yeah, this is about creating more action in your life. And this is about, you know, what action do you want to take here? And I can hear, as soon as I said that, I can hear a fair few people go, but I can't take action at the moment. I'm stopped. You know, I'm not able to get out. I'm not able to do the things I want to do. I'm not able to, you know, create or, you know, yeah, create that action in my life. But there's different types of action. There's different ways of creating action in your life. So sometimes creating action too is creating the steps, creating a pathway, you know, and it's really that thing about, you know, I can feel people feel like they're held back at the moment. So, you know, what are the things that you can start to plan for? What are the things that you can, you know, figure out that make you tick, and how you're going to be able to create steps towards that? And it doesn't have to be a big thing, you know, you just sit down, write yourself a list, you know, have a bit of thinking, come back to it, whatever it may be. Okay, so on to Tuesday. So this is, all right, so this is about your unconscious, and this is about your unconscious drives. You know, and they've proved this scientifically. I listen to a lot of Bruce Lipton and Joe Dispenza. Bruce Lipton talks a lot about this, about the 95% of your day, you're in your, you know, you're coming from your subconscious, you're not in the moment. So, you know, when you're driving your car, you're not really conscious, you know, like you're driving along, you pull up somewhere, you're like, wow, I got here. Same thing as you go through your work, you know, your work day or your day at home, whatever it is. You know, be aware as you can, have an awareness about what those drives are, you know, where you're coming from. And, you know, have a bit of an awareness about, are these uplifting things or are they not uplifting things? If they're not uplifting things, it's about, okay, cool. So I'm going to be aware of that. I'm going to bring myself back to the moment. So you're clicking out of the subconscious, back into the conscious, you're back into the mindfulness groove, into that mode, and then you're going to go, okay, what things do make me happy, what does feel good, you know, think about good things that may have happened, or, you know, things that you feel good about that are pretty, whatever it may be. Okay, Wednesday, really easy technique actually, and it does work. I've done this myself, really, really good. So Wednesday, so they said, I can feel them poking me. They're saying something's going to come up for me on Wednesday. This doesn't have to be hump day, is what they're saying. Doesn't have to be hump day. So how can, you know, you create something which may be a slowing down, which may, you know, it's almost like that saying, one step back, two steps forward. So you might have a step back, and I can feel a little bit of this around work and through some relationships as well. It's almost like you're on the back foot. When you're on the back foot, this gives you time to, you know, be objectively aware of what's going on and what's coming up within you and that sort of thing. Then you can choose to respond, you know, so you can take responsibility about what you want to do next, what choice you want to make with that, especially when you're objective to an emotion, to a situation, to a thing. It's not about you're shelving the emotion, you're putting it away. It's that thing about you going, okay, I feel this, I can see this is happening, you know, this kind of thing. I'm going to pull myself back from it, knowing what that emotion is without getting caught up in all the turmoil of it. Then I'm going to choose to respond to what's going on around me. Okay, so Thursday. What's on Thursday? So this is about, I can see, it's funny, I keep seeing people skipping, which to me it's about getting in touch with the child, it's about aesthetics, it's about beautiful things. You know, I just looked at my flowers that I bought, that all actually got bought for me the other day. It was really beautiful. I had a friend give me some flowers. So this is about aesthetics, and it's about, you know, allowing, letting go, that sort of thing. So it could even be about, you know, thinking about or writing a list about the things that, you know, you feel good. Now the thing is with your mind, and this is on a very a scientific level, a neurological level, as well as on a spiritual, emotional level. When you think about happy things, when you think about joyful things, your mind, your body doesn't actually even know the difference, whether you're actually doing that thing or whether it's actually, you know, you're making it up. So your body can't tell a difference, your mind can't tell a difference. So this is that thing about, you know, almost like deluding yourself that you can be in a really beautiful spot when you're not in such a great spot. So this is that thing about, you know, bringing that joy into your life, bringing that happiness. There might be a few, you know, I can feel a little bit of a pull, a push and a pull, and a little bit of possibly a bit of stuff coming up with work with a few people around there. So this is that thing about, you know, you're just doing the best you can with this. You are recognizing the issues and not getting pulled into it. And it's about feeling those joyful moments, using that as fuel instead of frustration, anger, you know, you know, these sorts of other things which are going to possibly fuel your actual choice and your motivation. Okay, so getting into Friday. So, all right, so Friday, so it's feeling very earthy and that sort of thing. So this is that thing about, you know, what can you do for you that brings you back to your center? What can you do that brings you back to your grounding? That sort of thing. And, you know, a really easy exercise, and one that I use probably every day, sometimes a couple times a day, is, you know, I just imagine and feel, you know, I do this through breathing quite a lot. I breathe white light in the top of my head, into my belly, and then I breathe it. You've probably heard me say this, breathing it out my feet. But then I concentrate on the way I remember, you know, walking with no shoes on the ground. And I remember that feeling of being connected to the earth, of whether it's walking on the beach, walking on the dirt, whatever it may be. And even just thinking about that, even just bringing myself back to that moment, it helps me ground a little bit more. And it helps me get a bit more clear within my mind. And it helps me to see things a bit more sort of factually as well. So, you know, try that out. Okay, so Saturday, what's on Saturday? So Saturday, this is, so they're talking about, you know, the have-tos. You know, so how many have-tos do you have in your life? You know, I have to do this, I have to do that, you know, I have to do this. And it's that thing about, you know, some of this stuff is outdated. Sort of, you know, conditions, patterns that, you know, you've been in a group for such a long time, you just feel like you have to, you know, do this. They're saying, oh, hey, you could do this for the whole week as well. This is quite a good one to just have in the back of your mind for the whole week. You know, so what I'm getting shown is, you know, those co-workers that are bloody slack, and you pick up the slack for them. And in your mind you're saying, oh, I have to do this, otherwise it won't get done. Well, you know, do you have to do this or not? It could be, you know, you're at home with the kids, they're saying, and yeah, I have to always clean this up. You know, but do you? Could you actually say, you know, and start, you know, giving your kids that responsibility? So they're just two really basic examples, but there's so many have-tos in my life. And they're showing me, like, there's thousands of different ways in which this can be done. You know, even with yourself, oh, I have to cook tonight. Well, you don't actually. Once you take the night off, make some eggs on toast, you know, get takeout, whatever it is. Okay, so we'll get on to Sunday. What's on Sunday? So, Sunday, right. So Sunday, they're saying, why not on Sunday? And you can do this at 11:11. you know, in the morning. But they're saying, why not for just 1 minute, okay, just for 1 minute, and just put yourself, you know, sit down, probably easier sitting down, you can lay down, stand up, whatever you want to do, celebrate this coronavirus stuff all being over. Celebrate for 1 minute and just put in your head, what's that going to feel? Imagine if all the bans, all the restrictions, all this stuff, boom, all of a sudden was over like that in a magic world. You know, what would that feel like? What would that look like to you? You know, what would that seem like? You know, what would you do if all of a sudden, boom, all this stuff was over, never happened, or was completely just disappeared? So, you know, for 1 minute out of the day, put yourself in that position, feel those feelings, do those things in your mind. You know, it's that thing about putting yourself in that place. You know, your body actually doesn't know the difference between you doing it or, you know, you imagining that you're doing it. So for 1 minute, why don't you try doing that? Start celebrating this. All right, it's over, it's sorted. You know, I can go and hang out, I can go and party, I can go to a club, I can go to a park with my mates. You know, I can go and play footy, go skating. You know, I can go skating on a skateboard, you know, all kinds of different things. You know. So, whatever you choose. Okay, so that's it for this weekly reading. So I just wanted to thank you for joining me. And they're just saying too, just at the end here, is that every time you put yourself in a happier place, every time that you feel that joy, every time you feel connected with yourself, you could say connected with spirit, you know, God, Great Spirit, Buddha, whatever the hell you want to call it, doesn't really matter. They're saying you can call it Marty if you want to, you know, it doesn't matter. Source doesn't care about what you call it. Every time you connect with something really beautiful inside of you, you know, every time you connect with fun and love and joy, you ripple that out, you know, so you're actually rippling out that same emotion, that same feeling, that same energy, not just to you, but to the entire world, and they're saying beyond as well. So, you know, every time you are in a good mood for no reason at all, like me, I'm smiling a lot, I just feel good at the moment, that just flows out, you know, so congratulate yourself. It's not hard. It's actually, they're saying, a very natural state of being happy. So, all right, and this is where mindfulness comes in. Okay, beautiful. I just want to thank you all for joining me. Just wanted to say, love it when you share me around, when you comment. If you want to check out my website or my Facebook, YouTube channels, davidmjohn.com, right across the board. If you'd like to see me for an appointment, I do a lot of work over Skype, Messenger and the phone. When I work over the phone, I've got a recording app in which I send you the recording afterwards. So I do healing, counselling, reading, mentoring, past life work, couples work, meditation groups, whole lots of other stuff. Give me a buzz. All my details are down below. Have a beautiful week. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.